So I'm going to be grooming Snorkel's body today. This brush I tend to use on bits where he's mislaid the fur, so say here where he's scratched himself, or mud. He's not been in any mud today, so we're just going to use it to get off his bits where he's scratched himself. Nice and gently because it's quite a prickly brush. It also helps get the fur off him, and as he's molting and getting his summer coat, we need that. This is just the standard body brush. I just use this to flick the dust off him, any loose hairs that are still on him that I've missed. Quite a nice brush, makes his coat come up shiny, always what we want. When I'm grooming, I always want to make sure I get key areas like where his saddle's going to be sat, underneath his girth, where his girth is going to be, particularly here around his bridle. For his face I tend to use a different brush. This one here, it's a lot softer than the other two, and it's smaller as well, so I can brush around his face quite easily without causing him too much hassle. Quite thankful with this horse, he likes his face being brushed. Good boy. So this is my mane and tail brush. I just use this to brush through his mane just to get any bits out that he might have or any knots. We also brush his forelock very gently as well. Thank you for doing that. Good boy. We also brush his tail. Now I use mane and tail conditioner with mine to just try and keep it smooth and unknotted as they get very knotty. I tend to stand to the side for these, pull the tail aside. Now I tend to section my tails off, work in smaller sections. I find it pulls out less hair when you brush it than if you were to do it in one big section, but people do this different ways. He doesn't have a pulled tail. I don't pull this horse's tail normally because I plait it, or he just goes natural. We're going to pick out Snorkel's feet now. I just gently run my hand down the back of his leg, apply a little bit of pressure, and he should pick up his foot. Now we have this side of the brush which will get out all the muck, and this bit will sweep off any debris that I can't get off. So we just pick out around his foot, making sure we avoid this frog area in the centre. It's very sensitive for them. When we do this, we generally want to make sure we've got all the stones and stuff out that could potentially dig into his foot and cause him any pain. We just give it a brush off. That's all right there. And then on the front, he puts his foot down. We want to just brush off any extra, and then that hoof is all ready for polishing. Bacon hoof oil dressing. It just gives a bit of moisture to their hooves and give it a bit of shine. I quite like this one as it soaks in long term and helps with the condition of the hoof. When I paint my horse's foot, I want to make sure I really target this top area around the top of the hoof, as this is where the main hoof growth goes, and I want to make sure this is the healthiest bit. And then obviously I paint down to encourage that shine. Generally tend to do this on hard standing before I ride, so it has time to sink in before coming back into the stable and getting shaving stuck on it.